going on, everyone? It's Leifon here, and welcome back to another podcast episode with the official Otaku Crew. As a reminder, all the official Otaku Crew podcast episodes can be found on Spotify as well as YouTube at the official Otaku Crew. And be sure to check out our sponsor for the episode. They're pretty cool. They're nice people. And yeah, so today's episode, it might be a quick one. It might not be. Depends how much we shit on this particular topic. I know some panelists, will be shitting on this topic quite relentlessly.
Is that so?
But before we do that, my panelists for today are Tensa and the return of Monado Boy.
Hi.
What up, guys?
Yeah, there it is. So, no surprise here. We are covering the Chainsaw Man Reze arc movie. Quick little review on that, and yeah, we'll take it from there. But as always, guys, you know me, I like to give you some facts. So let me get right to that first before we jump on into the reaping of this particular movie. So, the movie was directed by Tatsuya Yoshihara. Some of his notable works, aside from the movie, of course, is Wisteria, Wand and Sword. He was an animator on that. Jujutsu Kaisen 0, animator on that as well. Black Clover, he was a director on that, and Frieren, and End of World Journey, if I remember that correctly, or something complicated like that. We just call it
at Journey's End, but yes.
Thank you, Tensa. Manga by Tatsuki Fujimoto. And finally, our favorite studio that likes to overwork their animators, Studio Mappa.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Of course, with their notable works, Hell's Paradise, Jujutsu Kaisen, Vinland Saga Season 2, and God of High School. There's quite a bit of others, but you know me, I just like to grab some of the most critically acclaimed ones, if I had to say, or and slightly more recent in the Mappa history. So yeah, that is the facts for now. And this is something I was thinking about, guys. Maybe you could disagree with me here. Not related to the plot of the movie overall, but more of how I guess the industry is going right now, because in the past, at least to my recollection, when it came to like the big animated movies, be it Naruto, Bleach, damn, I don't want to say Pokemon, but I'm gonna say it, Pokemon, and many others, Digimon as well. A lot of these films were somewhat their own self-contained story. Like they didn't contribute to the overall plot, or sometimes indirectly did, more often in case than not. And that was sort of it. And until much later that animated studio decided to release films that did contribute to the plot. And some of the biggest ones we know, the ones that had the biggest impact, of course, and we've said it before, Monado, was Demon Slayer Mugen Train. Like season 2, or sorry, the story that they wanted to convey in the manga was conveyed on the big screen. And I don't know how much of it was cut out. I haven't read the manga myself, but it did fairly well, and a lot of other studios hopped on that bandwagon. And what else can I say about that? A lot of other studios, don't Tensa. A lot of other studios have since been doing such things. Sometimes it is that indirect story movie, or it's a movie that does contribute to the plot. And so Chainsaw Man followed suit after that. Now, once again, I'm going to put this out there. I haven't read the manga for Chainsaw Man, but I know Tensa has. Monado Boy, have you? Just for context?
No, I haven't watched. I haven't read the manga. I've only been watching the show.
All right, just want to be sure here. Okay, now, from the very beginning, when me and Tensa decided to go see the film, Tensa already told me he wasn't going to like it. He was going to shit on it.
Now that's just mean.
Relentlessly at that point. So before we start any of that, I just need to know, Tensa, from the manga perspective to the animated movie perspective, was the essence captured, or was a lot of it just cut out?
Surprisingly, think of an entire arc without any fillers whatsoever.
Okay. That I take that as a good sign already. That at least somewhere there's a silver lining somewhere.
It's because the arc is kind of fairly short, and if you think about how a lot of manga does weekly chapter release, but when you try to do a story arc and you compress it and without any filler add-on, it can actually fit into a movie. That's kind of how Chainsaw Man did their thing.
Okay.
Fair. Similarly, when you've mentioned about Demon Slayer, that's because Demon Slayer is actually short.
Like the manga itself?
Yes, it's less than 300 chapters.
Damn, someone lied to me saying Demon Slayer was the longest one. I knew that was a lie.
No, that's a total lie. There's nothing longer than One Piece.
That-
You're goddamn right.
That's not nice. Why are people lying to me?
Yeah, I mean, like Demon Slayer. Yeah, I knew too that it's a shorter one, so I'm surprised that somebody would tell you that it's really long. Maybe I guess it depends on their definition of long. I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you what they probably mean by long. They probably were tired of it and they just wanted the plot to advance, and that may be it. Maybe it's not the plot that is long; it's the pacing that is long. Maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
Damn you, Facebook meta bots and all their lies. Damn you.
So then, Tensa, I had a question actually. Like, did you think it was a good adaptation? Whether you liked it or not, did it do a good job of adapting it?
I would. That's what I was trying to say. The adaptation is much better as a movie.
Oh, okay.
The problem is that movies usually, as mentioned before, are usually self-contained stories. And that's why one of my biggest gripe is that while the adaptation is much better on screen, because I'm just gonna say it, the manga format is fugly for Chainsaw Man.
That's rough, buddy.
It's true.
But this is but if it was its own story, beginning and ending, and it was not an arc, as a movie that was perfect. But because it is an arc, and there's a beginning, there's a continuation, it's like
It's like
Yeah, you have to do some homework for it.
It feels off as a movie. It feels off to put it as a movie because you know that there's a continuation, and now we already know that because it worked in this format. Expect each and every format to be movies with the name of the arc, each and every subsequent movie.
it's interesting you say that, Tensa, because I find that people who aren't really aware of the movie, like they watch season 1, then another season comes out. There's so much in between they don't know because they were not aware that the Chainsaw Man Reze arc was a continuation of the main story plot. I know I've fallen into that loop once or twice already.
This is unfortunately a manga versus anime thing here. If you don't read the original material, of course you will know. That's just what it is. It's like how I used to meet a lot of people that thought that certain fillers were actually part of the show until some people had to tell, no, this was never in the story. So for me, it's the idea of a canon movie that makes things very weird. It's not so out of place because Madoka Magica did that sort of thing before as well. And if you've also paid a lot of other attention to a lot of the newer animes, they don't air out their series on a weekly basis. What they do is that they compress it in, like, let's say, a short 1 to 2 seasons, so 13 to 26 episodes, but only to sell the series. So if you get interested, you move on to the source material to read more. That's also what a lot of people have been doing.
And on the flip side, that when these movies do well, it's often triggers like what is it, like the studio dropping the movie into segmented episodes. Like that's what happened with Mugen Train. Much later, it came out on Netflix as literally episodical, sort of say.
I think that's a terrible idea.
It is. It's pretty bad.
The way I understand it is when you do like your season 1 as an introduction, that's fine. But the moment that you're doing it as a movie, and it works out as a movie, you will need to continue it as a movie. Otherwise, you're gonna fall into that weird train where you're gonna be like Dragon Ball Super, like when you have like Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F, and you have to redo the entire thing. But most people saw the story, so they're just not gonna watch it.
Yeah, I think there's something like what do you say? I was gonna say it starts. I was about to say linger, but more of
It's gonna be this weird retcon.
yeah, yeah. I can go with that. So studios, yeah.
But the other thing that makes it really good as putting it as a movie format. Imagine a One Piece episode, and you put like 1 or 2 or 3 chapters, one episode. They've managed to put an entire arc into a movie. That's like 30 to 50 chapters. So there is a good thing about it. So so while they might cut, maybe trim some of the unnecessary things, it was unnecessary, and maybe it's actually there in the background, and it's a question of whether you've noticed it or not. But all of the important parts are there.
Yeah, like whatever the author was trying to convey of the main plot shows up, because if that starts getting cut out and the studio decides to put their own little spin on it, that causes a problem.
Yeah, well, let's not go there.
Yeah, okay. I think we've gone far enough with our thoughts and impressions on movies versus whole season. So let's get to the actual thing at hand, the Reze arc discussion. So, what did you guys think of about that pool scene? What you think?
It's the only scene worth watching.
Interesting.
The battle scene was not even as good. That's how.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
It was interesting, the battle scene with Denji riding the shark. Full spoilers ahead, by the way. I'm just saying. And at one point, the animation is getting so blurred and mixed. I'm like, is this a repeat of Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 fight, guys? Like, what's going on? Are you gonna just go hire a 10-year-old to do the animation now? I was like, oh,
No,
stop.
no. We're so burnt out that we are hiring the team for One Punch Man season 3.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Oh.
Oh, don't even go there,
is
man.
that
Oh my
wait,
god.
Tenza, is that confirmed?
No, he's just making a joke.
No. We're making terrible jokes at this point.
Oh yeah, like that's actually insulting, man. Don't like you. I can get where you'd have issues with the way they animated it, but like it's not that level. Come on.
the Garo sliding down the hill.
Oh,
can't.
best scene,
I
man.
can't.
That's a Photoshop. They just Photoshop him down.
Anyway, the point is that the pool scene was actually very well made, and you can tell that they've sunk the entire budget on the pool scene. The entire budget is sunk on that scene.
And the thing of so like, yeah, go ahead.
I think the scene pays off well because this is also one of the things where no matter when you the original material, conveying as animation when done well, it shows how beautiful animation can be. And because of that, and it's also like, much more expressive, so you kind of feel alive during that scene, if that.
Yeah, you share in the vibrancy of this and the emotions. Yeah, so like my only issue with that scene in particular, like it was obviously really well done. The only thing is that like they had, again, spoilers, a naked 16-year-old, and they were trying to like figure out how do we do this, right? Where they're like swimming around and everything and jumping around, and I feel like the answer that they got wasn't as good as what they could have done. Like they could have just like been more tasteful with like how they framed Reze, where like maybe they just don't show certain parts of her body so that it's not as awkward, because the way that they animated is just like, oh, we're just gonna make everyone pretend like their bodies are dark enough that they don't see the nipples on her boobs, but
Mm.
they're right there. Like you can't not see them. So I found that was like a weird choice because I think they could have done better.
I think that's one of the only things they've actually done right, actually. Because remember what Chainsaw Man is all about. A preteen, well, not a preteen, I'm sorry. A teen that had nothing and now is going through ranges of desires and self-fulfillment. So of course that Denji being a horny teen is going to be a horny teen. That's just how that works.
Yeah, boy.
And it's not supposed to be tasteful. That's the point. It was not supposed.
Well, no, okay, hold on. So like, you can still show them being naked in a pool. Like, there's no point. There's no problem with that. It's just that what you
They
show.
went too deep into the details. I agree.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because
However,
like you have to remember. Sure, it's about Denji, who's a teenager, but it's being drawn by adults, shown to a lot of adults, and what you're showing is like the portrayal of a naked minor, right? So like the way
wait
you
till
show that.
Wait till you see Denji being jerked off.
I don't know that I want to.
Same.
Too bad. That's what's waiting for you.
Thank you for that.
I mean, we've already seen him have sex with an adult.
He didn't have
so
sex
that's...
yet, actually.
What about when that... I forgot her name, but
They
the
went
eye
to
patch
third
lady.
base. That's third base. He didn't actually,
Oh no, I thought they did.
No,
Same. I thought that
no.
too, for some reason.
They like third base. They
Isn't
did
third
home
base
run.
having sex?
No, that's home run.
I think we have to have a conversation after this podcast about what third base means.
No thanks, bro.
Well, when people start touching each other.
I was
Anyway.
Yes, please continue, Minato. Please continue.
so actually, like, I'm glad that Tensa brought that up. Like the thing about Denji eventually getting jerked off. I guess I didn't know that, but that's okay. I was gonna find out eventually. There's even like you can still show that, but not necessarily show like full frontal, like somebody holding his dick,
In
right?
graphic
Like
detail.
there's a
Yeah.
tasteful way to show that it shows what's happening. We know what's happening, but it's not necessarily like literal child porn, right?
Yeah, like Shinji from Neon Evangelion. That's such a well-known scene.
Yes, that's I was gonna comment on that.
I got you, Tensa. I got you. There's tasteful ways to do it, folks.
Technically,
Yeah.
it was not tasteful with Shinji either, but it's not as bad.
But anyway, that's like my only issue with that is that like I feel like because clearly the animators are talented, like they're really strong artists. I think they could have found a way to portray this in like a less awkward way. Like if nothing else, I found it was a little awkward because like you're telling me like either do one or do the other. I don't think you can do both. Where like you're drawing her full naked body, but like there's no nipples there. It's just like skin, so it's okay, right, guys? Like that's
Yeah,
like I found that kind of weird, you know.
I see what you're saying.
That's my only issue. Like either do one or do the other, and like pick a lane.
The problem is that in the manga, it's not like a silhouette. It's nude, not just the silhouette. So I see what you're saying.
Oh, so they made it child friendly for the screen somewhat.
Well, because keep in mind
compared to the manga.
Keep in mind that you have to also remember that censorship laws are different in Japan and in here. So, and when you and this is like for you, you consider it porn, and I get why you do. However, in Japan, that is actually considered art, and nudity was never an issue.
Okay.
You also have to consider that.
All right, then I would have been honestly satisfied if they just pixelated her whole body. That would have made me flip.
At this point, not a lot of us would have watched it because it would just be classified as a hentai.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean, good lord.
Yeah, the pixelation kind of feels like an admission of guilt at that point.
Yes, that's the joke. It's in the same way that that in early Dragon Ball we used to draw Goku nude.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember when I was in like high school, we would always joke about how there were panels in the manga that we'd find at the library where he's naked and it showed like his little pee, and we'd all giggle about that. Yeah.
The point is that Japan, and I agree with Japan on that point, nudity and sex are two different things. And as long as you're able to separate those two, it's never an issue. But a lot of the Western people, the Western audience, they cannot separate one from the other. And that's where it causes issues.
Fair. That is fair.
So for me, it is definitely more of an artistic thing.
Hey everyone, this episode is sponsored by Audible. If you're like me and you want to find yourself a pastime but don't have enough time in the day due to school, work, or commuting, let me present to you Audible. Now, many of you have heard about Audible, but I'm going to tell you a bit more about it. Audible is an American online audiobook and podcast service that lets you enjoy all your audio entertainment on one app, whether it be, for example, a few in my library are His Dark Materials, Percy Jackson, Aragon, Witcher, Lord of the Rings, and many more for you to discover. You can always find audio for books you have been wanting to read or podcasts you've been dying to listen to. You will also find all the Otaku Crew up-to-date episodes lists available on Audible. As an Audible member, you can also choose one title a month to keep from the entire catalog, which includes the latest bestsellers and new releases. If you follow our Audible link, www.audibletrial.com/officialotakucrew, you can start a free 30-day trial. So go to Audible now and start your free trial. You now return back to your scheduled episode.
But I understand the problem, because if they just get horny off a pool scene, well, maybe you got a deeper problem.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something else.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Guess we'll never know, folks.
I can agree that it's... Go ahead.
I do think it's really a cultural difference.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like it. It's just like... I think, it's a movie that I think they knew is going to be released internationally as well, and so that's maybe something that they should keep in mind as well. But I guess
that's not how they work.
Yeah, I know. It's Japan. I know.
And for Japan does not give a shit about you guys. It's something like this. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna do it unadulterated. If you guys want to see it, you do. If you don't, you don't. It's and if we had so much issues that it has to encounter censorship laws, maybe it would have not been every year. So you also have to consider that if it was such an issue, we might not have access to it.
That's true. I didn't think of that, actually. That's funny. Makes you think about what's admissible here in North America too.
There's a reason why it's kind of considered rated R. Like,
that and the gore, like both, right?
Technically, the gore is technically PG-13 or general, but rated R is when you see a nipple. So we also have problem ratings here, but you see where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's really the issue that despite seeing it in a movie and a continuation, if it was its own story, its own movie alone, without the title of Chainsaw Man, its own self-contained thing, it would have just worked out very well, though. because every element of plot had all the way to a clear-cut ending, which is the only thing that I had personal problems with. But I also knew what I was going into, because when you finish an arc, you know that the arc ends, but you know that the story doesn't. But in that movie format, it almost felt like the story actually ended.
It did, like especially with that ending, it seemed like Denji he just put it all behind him, and that was it. Which I found was a
Yes.
little off-putting at that point, because I'm like, bro, I know you're not done. I know you're not done.
Oh, we know he's not done because post-credit scene, but yeah.
Oh, the post-credit scene we left for momentarily, then came back for. Yes.
Yes. We left a little bit too early, but I had to watch the post-credit scenes out like after that, and it's like, yeah. It's really because we left before the post-credit scene, but that was the continuation from.
Okay, now the pool thing aside, let's go past that. What about what?
I like the date with Makima.
The date with Makima had to be one of the more interesting scenes, because it's movie after movie after movie after movie after movie after movie.
Hey, okay, we get the point.
And then one movie that makes her cry. I'm like, huh. If I did that, honestly, I'd get a headache from watching all those movies. That's just a me problem, of course. But Makima's just subtle one-liners. She's like, well, too much blood. Not enough blood. Well, I'm sure she didn't say that, but her one-liners per each movie, I'm like, damn. It's so precise. It's so Makima to say these things.
Well, you know who she is.
Yes. You told me in advance who she is.
That's how she functions. That's precisely how she functions. But I liked it because despite her being very, mostly a silent character in this case, and technically was also alluded to who Makima is during the movie as well. In this case, it's really the idea of, we're gonna take you on a date. But of course, the movie marathon seems to be her idea the entire time, which I thought it was interesting because paying attention to it, it showed parts of who she is very subtly.
Yep, I agree with you there. There is a subtle aspect, of course, but from my perspective, like if Denji in a perfect world, he decides to pursue things with Makima, this is what a future relationship would look like with her. It'd be
Yep.
There'd be a lack of a lot of things. It'd be like very focused on one aspect, minus
That's the point.
everything else. Exactly. They're watching a movie, but there's no exactly any hand holding. There's nothing going on. It's just like clear cut. That's it.
They would be like hand holding, but it would just be the hand holding. That's kind of the point.
Wait, would you say hand holding one-sided, or both of them like embracing?
It would be one-sided, obviously.
Okay, exactly.
It would be one-sided, but the point is that was the point. It's that if you really paid attention, Denji was not in control in any of that.
Nope, not at all. Makima was the one leading.
That's the entire point.
I agree with you.
The point is that Denji is her dog.
Mm.
And it's really a question of if he's realizing that, but when you're head over heels for that one person, you don't see it.
Yeah, of course.
It's usually the others that see it for you.
Yeah, I agree. People on the outside, they see it all, and they're like, oh, that's not a good idea. But then you have the whole romance going on with Reze, and it's like, he's getting the whole thing. He's getting that one wish fulfilled, like to live a life and be loved and all that. So there's a stark contrast between the two for sure.
Yes, I would say that Reze was more interactive, and at the very same time, she taught Denji things.
That's true.
That he didn't know.
Yeah, to swim.
And the point of this is that facet showed a different type of relationship entirely, and that was where it was getting more 50-50ish.
It's funny. It's funny you say that, because there's a meme I saw not too long ago where It's when Denji goes out to dinner with the different girls. It's like with Power, she makes you pay for the whole meal. With Makima, she
Yep.
pays the whole meal and all that. I'm like, the fact you had to say 50-50, man. It was spot on.
Yes, I would say that Reze was the most fair out of all of them.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, until we meet the other ones. But yeah.
No, we're not spoiling that yet.
No. We're not going
But
that
the point is that think of Power as the annoying little sister that just steals your stuff.
She's the worst in the world.
Yeah, that's literally what she was like at the end of the movie, right?
Yes, that's precisely who she is the entire time. It's just who she is. Like, even during the movie, like when she has to get her horns trimmed, it's like a little sister that is into trouble. Like, so because of that, it's like, yeah, you're not escaping the siblings' allegations. But the point is that Reze, even though that she was openly deceiving Denji, that was probably the healthiest relationship that Denji had. That's precisely why at the end he actually wanted to elope with her. And Riz is like, okay, you're dumb. It is hilarious. And it was funny.
It was.
Because the point is that Denji does not think with his head, he thinks with his heart. But it's bad that he was not able to discern being tricked. And yet, in the middle of the movie, every girl that's into me actually wants to kill me.
Yo.
So he's just not having a good time.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you're Chainsaw Man. And I will say that the fight was still entertaining because part of the fight also has the normal call out that people say to every protagonist. You're just using your powers willy-nilly, but you never thought of how to use them properly.
Oh, that was the best one line in the entire movie.
And, well, this is where we get the shark riding. Because Denji is so stupid that that's not what we meant. Even the shark guy's like, this is not what she meant. But at this point, Denji's just Denji.
It was their mistake from the beginning to think that they could make him think smarter. You can't do that.
Actually, he did. It took a while.
Well, yeah, at the end. Yeah, exactly.
But obviously, when we're talking about a guy that never went to school, so yeah.
Which was made very, very clear. Like, oh, I never went to school. She's like, oh, maybe you should go to school.
How about no?
I mean, he should, but if you understand Denji's backstory from like the first episode, yeah, that's gonna be a problem.
Honestly, Tensa, I don't need another high school life, me demon MC in the classroom type nonsense. Him not going to school was probably the best thing the studio could come up with. Oh, the manga artist.
You're not gonna like the what follows then.
Oh no.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Leifon is mentally checked out.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
That's
Well, there is a catch to it.
Okay, I've checked back.
Once you see it, you'll see the catch.
Okay.
But that's outside the scope of the movie, so.
Yeah, we'll discuss that when we get there.
Yeah. The point is that Denji is just that dumb that this is part of why Reze was there. He has to learn things that. Oh, that's because he's so dumb that he's easy to take advantage of. But at the very same time, it was the only time he could learn anything, and learning about life was in that movie. What I also found interesting was the angel demon.
Oh, yes.
And Reze talked about a very similar story. And it's a story about a mouse. You either a country mouse or city mouse.
Mm.
And basically it's the idea of eating bland, okay food, but living a peaceful life. Or taking the risk just to eat delicious food. And I found that very interesting because that little story became philosophies for certain characters, like how Denji said that he wanted to be the city mouse because he just wants to eat delicious food.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't even care about the rest.
True.
He just wants the food.
He wants
Well,
to
he's-
While
I mean, it makes sense for Denji because like he was basically a dead man walking already. He's already been at absolute rock bottom, so like it can't get worse than that, right? So you might as
Yes.
well take the risk and actually have some
Yeah.
nice stuff for once.
yes, that is his only reprieve, unfortunately. But for the angel demon, he just doesn't he doesn't want to do anything, and he's like, nah, just leave me alone. And I thought that was funny.
Yeah, even to the point that didn't want to do his own job, like what is it? The private demon hunter
Yeah,
was
the
pretty much
investigator
dying.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's our boy's name? Why am I forgetting his name?
Aki.
Thank you. I was thinking something else, but Aki's like, hey, can you just like put him out of his misery? It'll be less painful. He's like, nah.
I believe they all deserve to suffer. I'm like, yo, what?
What?
Exactly. So it shows just how done this person is. Like, I don't want this life. I don't like it.
Yes, he really checked out mentally.
Until
The end, yeah. Until that final ending of what happens to Reze, and I'm like, Akima, why you do this?
Why? 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 Why?
And I know, Tensa, you've already told me why the angel did it and all that. I know you told me, but on the inside I was like, Angel, I thought you weren't going to intervene because you're saying, oh, I'm not really interested in this stuff, and then there you go,
he
throwing
he really isn't.
pretty
That's the
much
problem.
Gilgameshing a Reze on the spot. So I'm like, see, I got you, Tensa. See.
Oh, speaking of Gilgamesh, you will not like his updates. But anyway, but yes, the point is that think of Bakima. I have everything, but I don't have to move a finger, and that's really how she operates. She doesn't need to do anything, and people are just following on her whim. If they, like in this case, the angel demon doesn't want Makma to get her hands dirty, so he does it. And it's like the one time he does anything because Makima is involved. You also have to put that into perspective.
That's true.
If it was anyone else, he would have not moved. He would have just stayed there. He would have watched. And that's what I also found very interesting at the time. It's really the idea that part of the episode goes into a mouse philosophy, and yet certain characters kind of betrays their own thoughts with opposite action.
well, I mean, if we're talking about the angel guy, he kind of changes towards the end, right? Where he's like, maybe the city business isn't so bad after all.
Yeah, that's just some mild character development. Don't worry about it.
Internal monologue at its best.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, he's not necessarily betraying his philosophy with his actions. Like, he kind of just changed towards a different philosophy, right?
I would not even say that he changed because there was not much change in him in the first place.
Okay, so you mean like starts leaning towards a different philosophy rather than abandoning the original.
More or less.
Yeah. No, I can see that. And I wonder if that was maybe caused by Aki like saving the angel the way he did, and Aki of course being well, we know what he has. He's got what, 2 months left to live, right?
Yeah.
No, 5 years.
5 years?
Nope, 2 months.
Was it 5?
2 months.
Yeah, I wasn't super
No.
sure.
He has 5 years left, and his life got shortened by 2 months when he touched the angel's hand.
No. Opposite.
Yeah, that's what they said in the movie.
It has been shortened to 2 months.
No, it got shortened by 2 months.
No, it got shortened to 2 months.
Wait. Let me fact check this guy. Sorry, I misread it, and I thought it was down by 2 months.
No, it's not 2 months removed. It's you have 2 months left.
Okay, I feel like Google's lying here. Aki originally had 2 years to live using the cursed devil's power. Okay. That is that okay? That's correct so far. Due to the other contracts, like one with the Angel Devil, his lifespan has been further reduced from the initial 2 years limit. So I think it did drop to 2 months in the end. I wasn't super sure.
Yes, he in the movie it was explicitly said 2 months left. The keyword was left.
But I was so sure. And this is where it got me, where he's like, how much did I lose? And he's like 2 months. I'm like, so
No, it's yeah. How much did he lose? There is 2 months left.
Oh, really? Wow. Well, that's unfortunate.
The left was mentioned.
See that's where I had the issue, but I wasn't super sure.
Yeah, it was just 2 months. It would have not been that much of an issue, like 2 months removed out of how much he had left. It just means don't touch him again. No. This cost him a lot.
Okay. Well, okay. Going back to what I was trying to finish off with our angel demon. I think one of the other shifts that they're like, hey, the city life isn't so bad, is because the angel is seeing that people aren't as selfish as he first thought that they would be. Because Aki goes, despite like his best efforts to try to save the angel, like touches him and pulls him in to save him, knowing the consequences.
Yep, I would say that might be the reason why he found that interesting, because we're talking about a guy that prefers absolute safety and not involving themselves into trouble. And then there's the random guy that literally just risks his life to save.
Yeah.
And if you've also noted earlier, he was very kind of depressing and suicidal in the sense of just leave me there, leave me to die.
Ah, yes. Depression.
And I think that the big reason why he even have a change of mindset is that there seems to be a slight will to live that was born from that situation.
Most likely it was that. So I can understand where Monado Boy is coming from in terms of the angel developing a sense of change, if I had to put it that way.
Right.
But this is while I'd say that the angel's development had to be one of the slightly unnoticed like topics, I guess, if I had to put it in words, one of the other ones, and probably the last topic for this episode, had to be Reze and this whole room that we heard about. I call it the Red Room because honestly it felt like a very much Avengers Black Widow type of thing, where kids are being abducted, they're being turned to devils and trained in the back room. I wasn't super clear on that because at the end they do mention that there's some kids who were, I guess, taken and trained to be like assassins or mercenaries.
Well, there are devil hunters. What did you expect?
Okay, so that was the terminology used, right? Devil hunter was the term?
Yes, they're literally public safety devil hunters.
Okay, but not the one Denji's part of, the one that Reze came from.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am sorry.
Yeah, I was confused. I'm like, wait, Denji is a devil hunter, so wait, what am I missing here?
Reze, basically what you probably did not notice is that Reze has her group.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that's it. And I don't know if they gave a name for that group.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm just gonna call them the Red Room girls or something. I don't know.
So, yeah, because they are their own squad, and that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, and so I found it highlighted a lot of things that not all devils, especially ones that were somewhat innocent, I say somewhat, are able to go on and join like the Devil Hunter Association. Rather, there are some extreme versions where kids are literally being taken from their parents and are like, hey, you're a devil, so we're gonna train you from Mother Russia or something. I say that because Reze, I guess she came from like Russia, if I recall. They momentarily said that.
Yeah, they said she's from Russia.
Okay, thank you. So being trained to be basically an assassin, and I'm like, wow, okay, so there's multiple perspectives to take in on that. It's not so cut and dry as like devil hunter, devil. No. There's other factors to also consider in this.
World building.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not mad at the world building. Oh no, Tensa, you're too quiet.
I might actually have to double check just to make to make sure, because I'm pretty sure it was 2 months left. But if it's just too much for context, it would be funnier.
All right, that's the highlight of today's episode, folks. How long does Aki have to live?
I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck.
That's literally it.
His life got shortened by 2 months. I found it, by the way.
Okay, so
it's 2 months removed, not 2 months remaining.
Okay, I'm not
Exactly,
crazy then, because that damn like touch angel, just like a little finger touch. It's like, oh, you only got 2 months left. It's like, what?
Oh no! If you see the most unhinged questions that I've seen based on that touch with the angel devil, you would be dying of that.
I think I saw some of that too. It's really silly.
Oh yes, it's like, why? You know?
Why must the good die young?
Okay.
But
All right. Okay. Now, I think we've pretty much reached the end of the podcast episode for today. So, unless you guys have any last remarks, I can wrap it up. Tensa, you got anything?
I just hope that they do continue to do the format that they're doing, because they doing it in a movie format actually shows that it works.
Okay. We don't hold your breath. Manada boy, what about you?
I agree with Tensa. Like, I think the movie format works really well, even if it's like, a story that's part of the overarching anime or manga. Like, it felt like its own self-contained thing. Like, it has a beginning, it has an end, and whether like there's stuff that happens after, like the experience itself is really good. You have like the big fight that was really cool to watch, and it ends pretty unambiguously, right? So I thought it was a good movie. It was fun. My only like gripe with it was that I saw it after watching Infinity Castle, and the Demon Slayer movie. Like for the issues that that one had, was still like really really crazy and like top notch. And this one was like no matter what you watch next after that movie, it's tough to follow up after the Demon Slayer movie because of how well made that was. So like, I wasn't as high on it as like I saw it. Who else saw it? My brother saw it, and we talked about it. I saw it with my sister, and her and her boyfriend liked it a lot. But I was like, it's just like I'm thinking like I can't help but compare Demon Slayer because I just saw that like less than a month ago, and yeah, you can't help but compare. And it was a good movie, but it's tough to follow up on something like Infinity Castle Part 1. So.
Yeah, there was a standard set, and it's like, how can you possibly beat that?
Well, for me, the way that I see it is that different movies have different stories, and usually, and I'm already following series that started as different movies already, because I sometimes go to Fantasia, right? And we have those movie formats that just release one movie each year, and it's like their own little arc.
Okay, I mean, that's always smart as well.
And you also have to keep in mind, you also have to keep in mind, like, Demon Slayer is at the end of the show, right? So they're pumping up all their resources into making these over-the-top movies, whereas this is basic, like, Reze Arc was like, quote-unquote, season 2 of Chainsaw Man, but there's still a lot more left, right? Like, we're at the beginning of that show.
It's starting to get good, if that.
Exactly. So, like, it's a lot of, like, there's a lot of reasons to not think the way that I did, but human nature, you kind of can't help but compare stuff like that. So.
Well, yeah, you're not going to beat the final arc of a show with something in the middle. That's normal.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was still it was a great experience, but not the best anime movie that I've seen this year.
Okay.
And that's fine. That is totally fine.
Yeah.
It's in the same way that I Like when I watched, like for last year, when I watched Bleach, for example,
Mhm.
Thousand Year Blood War specifically, the improvement, and you compare it to any other arc, you see it.
Oh, yeah.
It's no
It's night
it's
and
no
day.
longer the same show anymore.
Yeah, there's a difference, night and day.
So you have to expect Demon Slayer to go into their climax, while Chainsaw Man, they're just starting to pick up, and the good thing is that there'll be more to come. While Demon Slayer, once it's done, it's done.
Yeah, it was just like that's just like something I was thinking about when I was thinking about my experience with the movie and all. But
Yes,
it was still really good.
I do understand,
No,
because
fair.
it's, as you said, how do you top it off something that is like an orchestral masterpiece versus someone that just started their own band? Like, I get it.
That's a good okay, that's a good comparison. I like that.
Yeah, it's a good analogy.
It really is. Anyways, guys, so we've reached the end of the podcast for today. I appreciate everyone who's listening to the episode when it drops on Spotify as well as YouTube. But as a reminder, you should be checking out our other social media handles. You got Instagram, the Otaku Crew, the TikTok channel, the Official Otaku Crew, the Twitch channel, the Official Otaku Crew, the Facebook page at the Official Otaku Crew. Oh my god. And this Discord squad. My name's Leifon. This is Monado Boy. This is Tenso. We'll see you all next time. Peace out, guys.
Later.